In a world where first impressions can leave lasting scars, it's natural to approach the new live-action adaptation of The Last Airbender on Netflix with caution. The 2010 attempt at bringing this beloved animated series to life was widely regarded as a disaster, leaving fans disappointed and skeptical of any future adaptations. 5 or 6 years ago, I was among that group of fans. It's well documented on my channel how doubtful I was of the success of a new live-action adaptation. I mean, why do we need one to begin with? Why can't we just tell an entirely new story? At first, I reserved judgment based on the fact that the original creators were involved in the project. Then, my expectations were all the way in the dumps when the original creators left the project due to creative differences. So, I should completely be writing off this show before we even get our first look at images or footage of it. I mean, that makes complete and logical sense, right? But I think I'm starting to come around to the idea of the live-action show. With a diverse cast, an elevated budget, expanded writing and lore, and the potential to introduce a whole new audience to the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender, there are compelling reasons to believe this adaptation has some merit. Let's delve into why this upcoming live-action series has the potential to redeem the franchise and ignite a new wave in the Airbender fandom. But before we get into why this will work, let's talk about the many reasons why this could crash and burn. Let's be honest here. The primary reason for fans' apprehension is the previous attempt at a live-action adaptation. In 2010, M. Night Shyamalan gave us something that led to critical and fan disappointment. The film received significant backlash for its poor casting choices, whitewashing of characters, lackluster storytelling, and several deviations from the source material. But the worst crime of all, it was just plain boring and lifeless. What's more, fans of the animated series are deeply connected to its rich storytelling, complex characters, and distinct visual style. They fear that a live-action adaptation will fail to capture the essence of the original series and make significant changes to the narrative or character arcs. Given Netflix and its mixed track record with live-action adaptations, Cowboy Bebop and Fullmetal Alchemist anyone, fans worry that the adaptation might not remain faithful to the heart and soul of the animated series they love. In the past, I've said that a really interesting version of the Airbender adaptation would be one that had the same sensibilities as the Scott Pilgrim adaptation. Funny enough, Scott Pilgrim released the same year M. Night's version of Airbender came out, and the two couldn't be more different in terms of tone, pacing, visual flair, and fan reception. Granted, Scott Pilgrim could be a bit much with its high-energy narrative, but to this day, it is perhaps the most faithful visual adaptation of something anime-like, the source material was based on a comic, into something in live motion. The lifeless movie we got from M. Night wasn't helped at all by the fact that the casting of the main characters was completely wrong, especially when you have Sokka and Katara played by non-Inuit actors, yet all the background talent were? Yeah, that's an odd choice to say the least. The original series is celebrated for its diverse and inclusive cast of characters inspired by various Asian and indigenous cultures, from the Middle East, Southeast Asia, East Asia, and even Mesoamerica. And in today's climate, fans are particularly sensitive to the importance of casting actors who accurately represent the cultural backgrounds of the characters. Another reason there is cause for concern in a live-action adaptation is the difference in the mediums. The animated medium offers unique advantages in storytelling, allowing for imaginative world building, intricate fight scenes, and the portrayal of fantastical elements. Some fans believe that the animated series' charm and magic might be lost or diluted in a live-action adaptation. They worry that the constraints of live action might not fully capture the scope and visual beauty of the series. So that's a load of really good reasons of why we should be completely dismissive of Netflix's attempt at bringing The Last Airbender live action. But a recent experience I had turned me around on their attempt being completely needless and useless, and it has to do with a little show over on HBO. Hey, my name is Antoine Bandele, your resident geek, giving you theories and discussion for all things Avatar. If you're liking what you're hearing and seeing, consider subscribing, or better yet, engage with the community and let us know how much the original adaptation from M. Night hurt you from a scale of 1 to 10. A few months back, HBO premiered its latest adaptation of a video game I poured hours into literally a decade ago. The game and adaptation is The Last of Us. Like most other adaptations, I asked the same question I ask now. Why? Why do we need to retell a story that was already perfectly told? Especially in such a similar medium where fans were saying the video game was basically a playable movie. Dismissive and entirely disinterested, I received a text from an old coworker of mine. He knew I was really into the game, logging hundreds of hours in its multiplayer and even creating a fan film out of it. So of course he thought I would be totally jazzed about HBO doing the adaptation. The conversation literally went like this. Friend, you excited about the Last of Us film? Me, I am not, sad face. Not overall at least. I like Pedro Pascal as Joel though. Me, but it feels like something that doesn't need an adaptation. Friend, I think it's less for the fans of the game and more for the general public. I only played it casually, so I think I'm going to enjoy it. I think hardcore people who played it for hours don't need it in any way. And that gave me pause right there. My friend could have easily swapped what he was saying for The Last Airbender. He could have said, I think it's less for the fans of the show and more for the general public. And he's completely right. Over the next few weeks after that text, my social media feed was blown up by so many people captured by a story that they didn't know existed or would have engaged with because they don't play video games. It was exciting to see the reaction from a new audience who had no idea of the fantastic and deep journey they were about to embark on with The Last of Us, and many of them, after watching the show, gave the game a try as well. And that same thing can likely happen for The Last Airbender on Netflix. Like, let me be honest here, my dad has only watched The Last Airbender movie, but not the cartoon. And I can't really blame him. The cartoon, especially the first season, is very, how do I put this, Nickelodeon. It's kind of a hard sell to get someone to really take it seriously and watch it all the way through without being like, nah, I'm good. I don't need that cartoon in my life. But for an audience to engage with the Netflix adaptation in the same way that they engage with HBO's adaptation of The Last of Us, a few things have to happen, which already look promising so far. Fans who are optimistic about the new adaptation see it as an opportunity for redemption. They believe that lessons have been learned from the previous failed live-action film, and they hope that the new creative team will be more faithful to the source material. These fans are excited about the prospect of a fresh start and a chance of the story and characters that they love to be given the treatment they deserve. Be honest, back in 2010, we were all thrilled by that first trailer of Aang in the temple getting prepped for all those Federation ships. That hype can easily return now, 13 years later. Fans are hopeful that with Netflix resources and commitment to quality, the new live-action adaptation of The Last Airbender will receive the necessary attention and investment to do justice to the source material. The success of the other Netflix shows like Stranger Things and The Witcher also gives fans confidence in the platform's ability to handle complex storytelling and deliver visually impressive productions, and it has been reported that Netflix is pouring many dollars into this project, calling it its next Stranger Things. Over the years, advancements in technology and visual effects have allowed for more immersive and realistic world building in live-action adaptations. Fans are excited about the possibilities of seeing the vibrant and diverse world of The Last Airbender come to life in stunning detail. They anticipate the opportunity to witness epic bending battles and awe-inspiring landscapes of the Avatar universe with the visual spectacle that can be achieved through live-action production. Okay, be honest, in that original adaptation, when you saw Aang bend that entire wave, you gotta admit that shit is just cool. It's just cool. You can't lie about that. And we can only hope that being 13 years removed from the original adaptation, we will see much progress in the way of some of the questionable visual effects back then. I'm looking at you, Appa. The original animated series was praised for its diverse cast and its respectful and thoughtful exploration of different cultures and belief systems. Fans hope that the live-action adaptation will fully amplify these elements and cast actors who accurately represent the diverse backgrounds of the characters, which we're already seeing right now with an all-Asian cast. And what excites me the most is the notion of the expanded lore being added to this adaptation, like a deeper look into Avatar Kyoshi and Avatar Karuk, among others. Heck, even if this Netflix adaptation isn't really something I want it to be, maybe that's not all that necessary. In the end, what I want is for this fanbase to expand, to be as big as Star Wars, as Harry Potter, as Marvel. For more people like my dad to realize that there is a great show backing the live-action adaptation, in the same one might watch Harry Potter and then go back to the books and realize how great the source material is, or even those folks who are playing Last of Us right now for the first time. But what do you think? Where do you stand on the live-action adaptation on Netflix? Let me know in the comments below and find out what my favorite season of Avatar is right here on screen. I'll catch you on the next one, and as always, peace, love, and remember, be water, my friends.